Sagittarius. If you've been waking up tired, feeling like the world is moving but you're standing still, this message is not just for you, it's about you. There is a fatigue that isn't physical, a heaviness that doesn't belong to your schedule, a silence that sleep cannot touch. And if you're feeling it not just today, but lately, then something ancient is rising. Because in astrology, not every exhaustion is random. Some are encoded. They are signs carved into your energy field, messages that only arrive when you're on the edge of a transformation that cannot be delayed. And Sagittarius, you are on that edge right now. I've studied this sign for decades. I've watched Sagittarians collapse in the days before a breakthrough. Not because they were weak, but because their souls were finally too full of what no longer belonged. And I'll tell you this truth, not as a content creator, but as a lifelong researcher of Sagittarius energy. The fatigue you feel is sacred. This isn't about your job, or your relationship, or your to-do list. It's about something cosmic, something timed, something that has been quietly circling the end of December, waiting for your system to slow down enough to hear it. Because here's the secret most never hear in time. The last 3 days of December are not symbolic. They are exact. They are coded. They are waiting for you to notice. And if you don't, the lesson will repeat. Different year, same exhaustion, same cycle, new disguise. But you're not here by accident. This message found you now because something in your fatigue is trying to speak, and for the first time in a long time, you are finally quiet enough to listen. So stay, not for the video, not for me. Stay, because this time your soul is not asking for motivation, it's asking for revelation. And before this is over, you'll understand exactly what that means. Now we move into part 1, the truth behind the tiredness, where the real decoding begins. Part 1. The truth behind the tiredness. There is a kind of tiredness that doesn't respond to rest. You sleep longer, you cancel plans, you take a break, and still the weight doesn't lift. If this is you, Sagittarius, let me say something clearly. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You are not failing. You are feeling the gravity of something larger, something planetary, something karmic. And in my 20+ years studying Sagittarius, I've seen this moment come like a pattern. It doesn't shout, it whispers. At first, it shows up as distraction. You lose interest in things you used to love. Then it becomes disorientation. You're doing everything right, but nothing feels aligned. And finally, it lands as fatigue. Quiet, unshakable, total. But this isn't weakness. This is what I call soul fatigue. It arrives not because you're doing too little, but because you've been carrying too much for too long, and none of it is aligned with where you're supposed to go next. Sagittarius, your ruler. Jupiter is the planet of truth. It doesn't deal in illusions. When something is out of sync with your future, Jupiter doesn't whisper. It blocks the road. And right now, that's exactly what's happening. You're not tired from life. You're tired from the version of life that no longer fits you. This kind of fatigue is spiritual compression. It's your future self closing in, asking you to release anything you're still clinging to that's not part of the next chapter. And here's what I've learned through the decades, not from books, but from Sagittarius. After Sagittarius who came to me in this exact phase, they weren't falling apart. They were outgrowing an identity they had clung to for too long. They tried to push through. They forced motivation. They searched for reasons to keep going. But eventually, they had to admit it. The fatigue wasn't asking them to try harder. It was asking them to let go. Let go of roles. Let go of the guilt. Let go of promises made in old chapters. Let go of the urgency to fix what's actually trying to fall away. And Sagittarius, the truth is, the reason your energy feels heavy isn't because you're behind. It's because you're on the edge of something that cannot be entered with old baggage. This is a threshold, not a trap. a gate, not a grave. And here's the part most people miss. Fatigue isn't just a signal to slow down. It's a preparation. It's the body's way of making sure you don't miss a message that only reveals itself when everything else is still. And that message, it's circling the final days of December, astrologically, energetically, spiritually, because that's when Jupiter aligns, Pluto presses, and Saturn challenges your truth. Not to punish you, but to reveal what cannot follow you into 2026. So Sagittarius, if you've been trying to snap out of it, stop. If you've been beating yourself up for being unmotivated, breathe. Because this isn't a breakdown. This is a soul checkpoint. And the truth is, not everyone gets one. Not everyone is summoned in this way. If you feel this in your chest, if you feel seen right now, then this isn't exhaustion. It's direction, life lesson. The soul speaks through the body long before the mind is ready to listen. And fatigue isn't a failure. It's a compass pointing you toward truth. Comment if this resonates with you. Let the universe know you're listening. Part 2. The burden you didn't choose. Sagittarius. The world knows your fire, but it rarely sees the weight you carry to keep that fire alive. You are the sign of the seeker, the one who searches for truth even in the ruins, the one who holds space for others, who forgives before being asked, who gives hope when no one else can see a way forward. But behind that light, there's a silence you've been carrying, a responsibility no one talks about, a fatigue that has nothing to do with sleep. I want to speak to that part of you now, because over the years, in countless charts and conversations, I've seen the same hidden wound in Sagittarius souls. You weren't just born to seek. You were born into expectations that were never spoken out loud but always felt. You became the strong one, the hopeful one, the one others leaned on, and eventually the one who carried what no one else could. And you did it because you're kind, because you're wise, because you thought, if I don't hold it together, everything falls apart. But Sagittarius, that burden was never yours. You were taught, not directly, but through energy, that love means holding pain for others, that to be strong is to endure, that understanding others means sacrificing yourself. And so quietly, you inherited emotional debts that weren't yours. You accepted roles you never auditioned for: caretaker, peacemaker, translator of unspoken wounds. But now your soul is tired, not weak, not broken, just done, because something deep inside you knows the weight you've been carrying belongs to someone else's timeline. And you've reached the edge of that story. You've outgrown the identity that was built around endurance. Here's what most people don't see. Sagittarius doesn't just get tired from doing too much. They get tired from holding in too much. You feel the room, you read between the lines, you sense what others avoid, and instead of ignoring it, you carry it. That's why your fatigue is spiritual. It's not about what you're doing, it's about what you've absorbed. And right now, in the final stretch of this year, the universe is confronting you with one simple but uncomfortable truth. You cannot carry this into the next chapter. Not because you're selfish, not because you're quitting, but because the version of you who took on everyone's weight is evolving. This is where it gets sacred, because the moment you start to put it down, the guilt might rise. You'll wonder, who will I be if I stop being the strong one? You'll fear being seen as cold. You'll fear letting someone fall. You'll fear losing love. But Sagittarius, hear this. Love is not a transaction of suffering. It is not your job to shrink so others can expand. You were not born to be the container for other people's unprocessed karma. You were born to walk free, to seek what's next, to expand beyond old patterns, not carry them. And the reason you feel so heavy right now isn't because you're failing anyone. It's because you're finally ready to stop betraying yourself. Life lesson. Compassion without boundaries is not virtue. It is self-erasure. You are allowed to let go, not to abandon others, finally return to yourself. Comment if this truth stirred something in you. Write, I am ready to release what's not mine. Let your energy send that signal outward. Part 3. The mythic core of Sagittarius. Sagittarius, before you were a sign, you were a myth, a symbol drawn not in books, but in the constellations. A centaur, half human, half beast, half instinct, half intellect, a bridge between the wild and the divine. To understand the fatigue you feel now, you must first remember who you've always been. In the mythology, Sagittarius is ruled by the wisdom of Chiron, the wounded healer. A centaur, unlike the others. While most were wild and unruly, Chiron was noble, a teacher of heroes, a healer of gods, a mentor of legends. But he carried a wound he could never heal, a pain that lived inside his own body, even as he taught others how to heal theirs. This Sagittarius is your cosmic inheritance. You are the one who knows what it means to walk with a wound and still choose to guide, to carry your ache in silence while offering light to those who stumble in the dark. But that light has a cost, because eventually every wounded healer must confront their own pain, not just study it, not teach through it, but feel it, and finally release it. And this is what your soul is asking of you now. The fatigue you feel is not just modern burnout. It's not just a stressful season or an emotional dip. It is myth reawakening in your bones. It is the call of the centaur asking you to stop galloping forward and tend to the part of you that's been bleeding beneath the armor. Here's the truth I've seen in Sagittarius again and again. You are brilliant at healing others because you've had to survive yourself. But healing through service is not the same as healing through truth. And the truth is, Sagittarius, you are tired. Not just because you've helped so many, but because you've ignored your own sacred need to rest, to process, to surrender. In the legend, Chiron gives up his immortality. He chooses to end the cycle, to pass the wound back to the stars and become something more. That is what you are being asked to do now, to end the story of the one who holds it all together, to surrender the identity of the constant teacher, the emotional healer, the spiritual guide. Not forever, but just long enough to remember that you are not just here to serve others, you are also here to live. You are not only a lesson for others to learn from, you are a life that deserves to be free. This is the spiritual fatigue few understand. When the soul is tired of being used only as a lighthouse, when the healer needs healing, when the wise one must go quiet in order to be wise again. That's why everything feels so loud right now. Why even joy feels distant. Why silence feels too full. It is your myth asking to be rewritten. You are not just the centaur. You are the arrow it aims. And you cannot aim forward if your hands are still shaking from the weight of what you've carried. This is the turning point. Let go of the story where you are always strong. Let go of the need to teach through exhaustion. Let go of the idea that your worth lives in your ability to hold pain. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to feel. You are allowed to be human even if half of you is made of stars. Because Chiron's final gift wasn't in what he taught. It was in what he finally released. And Sagittarius, so is yours. Life doesn't ask you to die for your wisdom. It asks you to live with it. Because only when you do can your light become healing again. Life lesson. You are not here to endlessly hold others together. You are here to remember that your truth, your rest, and your freedom are sacred too. Comment if this speaks to your soul. Write, I remember who I am. Let the myth rise again. The next part takes us into what's coming, part 4, the December gate. Here we'll explore why the last 3 days of this month carry a rare cosmic alignment and why the universe chose now to slow you down. Part 4, the December gate. There are moments in astrology that don't just influence your mood, they shift your entire direction. Moments when the planets don't ask, they press. When time doesn't flow, it converges. And Sagittarius, the final 3 days of December are exactly that. Not metaphor, not poetry. Literal gates in the sky. As the year closes, a rare energetic funnel forms involving your ruling planet Jupiter, the heavy hand of Saturn, and the deep soul excavating force of Pluto. These aren't casual shifts, they're initiations. Let me break this down not in astrology speak, but in soul terms. Jupiter, your cosmic ruler, is about growth, truth, expansion. It usually pushes you forward. It fills you with fire, optimism, restlessness, ideas. But now it's being compressed. And when Jupiter compresses, Sagittarius doesn't sprint. It stops. Suddenly, momentum disappears. Motivation fades. And the path that was once clear now feels covered in fog. That's not failure, it's a design. Because when growth slows down, truth rises up. And that's what these final days of December are really about. Sagittarius. Right now, you are being slowed down, not because the universe is ignoring you, but because it is finally speaking to you, loudly, clearly, and through your body. The fatigue you feel is the system demanding stillness. Why? Because Pluto is digging. This planet doesn't ask for your permission. It reveals what you've avoided, the false beliefs, the old patterns, the outdated dreams that no longer carry your frequency. And while Pluto peels back your illusions, Saturn holds the line. Saturn says, you can't take that with you. It brings structure, reality, responsibility. Not to weigh you down, but to prepare you for what's next. Together they form the threshold. And for Sagittarius, who lives for motion and freedom, this feels like the universe has tied a weight to your wings. But that's only half the truth.